Okay, here we are. This is our first segment. I feel good about this week. And as previously discussed in our intro, we're talking about cooking shows, culinary shows, whether it's a competition or it's just a nice little show to watch people make food. I'm so obsessed and I can't stop watching, and I feel like the fall weather sort of gets me in that mood where I want to watch. And I think it helps that the Great British Bake Off always returns around this time, and it's sort of that's what's popping up on my suggested watches. So, I have been thinking, because as you know, if this is your first episode of the podcast, if you don't know, but if you've been a longtime listener for the past 7 episodes, shout out to you guys. And also, if you are a new listener, shout out to you. I am unemployed. I'm trying to find a new job. I got laid off twice in 8 months. So I'm really trying to be creative with my employment because, it's hard out here for anybody. The market is crazy. And I do think that I have actually stumbled upon the perfect job for me. And this isn't the first time that I've thought about it. But this is the first time that I'm actually making a public plea to anybody who's producing any sort of culinary show. I feel like a lot of people always talk about how they want to be like a judge on the show. I don't really have the credentials. I don't think my palate is incredible. I mean, look, I like good food and I eat most of it, but I don't know if I can tell the difference between a thyme or a tarragon. You know what I mean? I'm not biting into a piece of herbed chicken and knowing what those herbs are. So I don't think that I'm qualified. And also, like, good food is good food to me. So I'm not always tuned in to whether like the rice is al dente enough or something like that. I just think like, oh, this rice is good and I love this herb crusted chicken. I would like seconds, please. So this is why I'm making a plea to talk to whoever you know in the production world to get me, a total unknown, a hosting gig on some sort of culinary show, because I do notice that the hosts get to take bites, which is a really, really important factor for me while watching these shows and wanting to participate in them. I want to be a person who gets to eat. But I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm nice. And I know these people have worked very hard. Their blood, sweat, and tears are in these dishes. And maybe there was a time issue. And if they had enough 10 extra minutes, that ice cream would have been amazing. But they didn't. And they worked really hard. And maybe there's stuff about it that's not great that I probably wouldn't even pick up on anyways. So I'd want to be there to sort of encourage them, ask for bites whenever I wanted, be a taste tester, during the process, as has been established over the 7 episodes of this podcast. I am a yapper, so I can walk up to anybody who's in a stressful situation and have a conversation. I think, part of the difficulty of that is when they're sort of pressed for time and knowing how to sort of get the conversation going and keep it tight so they don't feel too stressed, but they have to talk to the camera. This is a television show. So I can get them going in conversation while they're cooking, maybe make them feel at ease, encourage them. I am nothing if not sort of a champion for somebody working hard at something. And so I feel like it would be a perfect gig for me. So if you know anybody, let them know. If there are any shows that you watch that have a host that you don't like, I would love for you to tag them and ask me to replace them, because I'm also not above being kind of a bitch when it comes to making my own money. Look, I will say, given my current position, I will take a job from somebody as long as it's a straight white man. Anyone else, I'm not gonna pursue that. I have to be aware of the privilege I have in this world. But I know those straight white men got something on me. So I would like to sort of get them out of the mix and get me into the mix. Wouldn't you love sort of a chatty, queer, interesting woman who doesn't know when to stop talking, maybe sort of has turns everything into a conversation about themselves on your TV screen to delight you while you're also feeling calm about watching food being made left and right, I think it's a great idea for me. So let me know what you think. If there's any shows you'd like to see me be the host of, I'm happy to entertain that. You feel free to DM anybody you want, and say, look, I've got a gal for you. She's desperate and she'll work for cheap. Because honestly, at this point, I really will. If studios are looking to save money. Oh, that's actually not right. Because I feel like maybe union things and I don't know. So look, I'm not going to undersell myself if it hurts other people, but what I'm saying is create a show based around me and then have some cooks on it and some chefs on it so I can eat. Is that anything? Some of the great hosts of our time, whether it's cooking shows or not. We've got Julie Chen Moonves on Big Brother. She's fantastic. She does it live. She does it on the fly. She's so quick. I think I would probably need to be taped. I don't think I have live in me. We have Jeff Prost from Survivor. He's like super famous. Everyone loves him, I think, unless there's something I don't know. But I feel like people talk about how great of a host he is. Do you need to go to school for this kind of thing? I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe you like major in communications, but honey, I'm communicating, okay? RuPaul obviously built an empire with Drag Race being a host and having a rotating panel of judges, and she does an incredible job, and I could do something like that, but again, food based. Really want to make sure that it's food based. Oh, we have the classic Top Chef Padma. Who doesn't love Padma? She's great. She's that like soft voice that I feel like is very calming for the contestants and for the people watching them, because Top Chef is like high pressure, you know? Um, and of course, the Great British Bake Off, we have Alison. She's a new addition. She is my favorite host since the originals, Mel and Sue. I just feel like she brings such a warmth. She and I are cut from the same cloth. I am just as loud as her. I will find any opportunity to make a inappropriate sexual joke about baking and the like, putting things in ovens and all that kind of stuff. I feel like a kindred spirit with her because she is, she's so likable. And I like to think of myself as being very likable. I would actually not like to hear if you don't think of me like that. That's fine for you to sort of keep that inside. I need to live in the fantasy that I've created for myself because I'm truly hanging on by a thread at every moment of my life, as you may have gathered. The next thing I feel good about is actually very specifically Great British Bake Off based. And I noticed it this week. And it's not the first time that I have noticed it, but it's the first time I have a platform to talk about how fucking great this is. So I love an accent. I love the varied British accents within the show. And it's always fun to hear different people from different regions of the UK say certain things. It's truly wonderful. And this week, I realized there was a woman who was saying the word garlic and black olives, and she was adding a little special something to the end of that word. And she was pronouncing it garlic and black olives. And she gave a little extra at the end of her word, like, oh, I'm adding garlic to this. And I was like, that's so lovely. First of all, it's like reminds me of sort of an ancient medieval language. If we're talking Hebrew, like there's just a lot of gravitas and a lot of like genuine, lovely feeling behind sort of saying your words with intention. Like, yeah, I'm gonna add a bit of garlic. And I feel like it's really lovely for me to be able to add into my everyday life. And I was thinking about words that end with a hard C and how I can incorporate that because nobody loves anything more than an American person running around imitating a British accent. It's so cute. Look, I know it's annoying, but it's only cute when I do it. And I do it kind of a lot. And I feel like my accent work is really good. And I know I'm saying this right now, and I know I'm gonna fuck it up so bad. Like, I'm gonna try, and you guys are gonna absolutely feel like I'm the worst in the world in this because there's too much pressure on this moment that I put on myself. But I was thinking about the word panic attack and how horrible it is, how awful and difficult it is to have a panic attack. But what if you called it a panic attack? Oh no, I'm having a panic attack. Wouldn't that be so fun to sort of pull you out of it? Like a delightful way to be like, oh, look, I may feel out of control every aspect of my life, but look at the fun whimsy we have when we can say we're like and really enjoy it, you know? So I urge you, when you are at your worst mentally, to sort of add that grunt at the end of your words with the hard C's and see if that gets you somewhere. See if it moves the needle towards happiness. I don't know. We're all living in a fucking nightmare, so we might as well find the little things. And I think panachata is so nice. I feel good about this.